Good afternoon and welcome back to the West Ham Network. And it's Anton here bringing you the David Moyes press conference for Watford. Hope you are all well and have already enjoyed DJ Russie B's show. God, I think I'd be getting dressed live on the screen, but I just had a little snack and I thought I'd bring to you the David Moyes press conference as I do every single week. So how are we feeling after the FA Cup victory over, the lower leagues, the lower depths of the leagues with Kidderminster? Fair play to them. I know Russ mentioned it earlier on, and I'll say it again. They deserved it. They deserved it over West Ham. But I'm delighted as a West Ham fan to get through in any round. And sometimes you come up against big speed bumps, and you take many curves. And the trajectory decided to not go one particular way, but it went curvy, and that's exactly what the Kidderminster game was done. But plaudits off and hats off to them, and hats off to the manager, and hats off to some of the players. Preston, what a fantastic centre-half for them, and they just nullified any of our threats. And it took for the big guns to come off the bench, really our first team players to come off, in particular Declan Rice. Really, at the end of the day, without Deckers, I don't know if we would have won that game. Deckers and Jared Bowen, phenomenal performance. Again, yes, okay, putting it into context, we were playing lower league team, but at the end of the day, it's cup competition and you need to get through, and that's exactly what we did. We put our name into the hat for the next round, and that's exactly what we have done. Now, we move on to Watford tomorrow. I'll be at the game. I'm glad to be back at the home stadium again. And it's going to be an interesting one because obviously they've got a new manager in Roy Hodgson, 74 years old, back into management. And it was going to be an interesting game because it kind of rolls off the back of this FA Cup game. You know, it goes back into the campaign of playing 2 games a week. We've got 2 games a week coming up. So West Ham now need to be able to manage this thin squad that we've got. And as long as these players stay fit, then we can manage this squad, and fingers crossed we can end the season like how we started, because if we can get anywhere close to how we started, then we're in with a chance in all competitions, including the league and all the cups. So we just have to give it time. We've not brought any players in. And obviously with the potential injury to Zouma, who we'll talk about in a minute, then that could have derailed or could have had the potential to derail our season. But let's hope it hasn't derailed our season and we stay on track and progress as a club moving forward. But before I move on, as we always do, make sure you do subscribe to the channel. Just click that link there, the subscribe button, and then all you do is there's a little bell notification on the screen when you look at it, and that bell notification, if you click that bell notification, that notifies you when we do a show. Now, we do have several shows planned for today. We've already had DJ Russie B's Lunchtime Live. I'm bringing you the David Moyes press conference. Later on will be the preview. We're waiting to hear. We think the weekly's coming on, and it might be early today, but we'll let you know as soon as that does get announced. But you have to know to hit that bell notification, that then you'll get notified when a show does go live. So let's get straight on to the presser. And David Moyes talks straight away, first and foremost, about team news. He said, Michael's back. We've had an injury to Lanzini and an injury to Arthur Masuaku. They're both doing okay, but Arthur's going to see a specialist about his knee, and Manu's needing a bit of time with his Achilles injury. Mikel's returned and has done a couple of days, so we're hoping he'll be available. Now, interestingly here, we all know that Mickey Antonio went away to play for Jamaica international duty. It's been his second trip, I believe. He banged in a goal, and he wasn't actually back, even though he probably wasn't going to travel for Kidderminster. However, he wasn't back in time to travel to Kidderminster game, which was interesting. And he has had a couple of days, and I don't doubt for a second he will be back in to this team against Watford tomorrow, unless Moyes decides to be a bit more, out there, really out there, and express himself with the likes of Bowen. He's mentioned that Bowen can be our second striker, although you're hearing from Bowen that even though he likes playing there, his favourite position is in from the right. Join us for the preview. We'll talk a bit more in depth about it, and it could be another option that he's offering, but I do think he may look at starting with Antonio for the Watford game, and he is back. Now, the news obviously about Lanzini, I think that's a touch and go. It could be smoke screens, it could be here, there and everywhere. We weren't too sure at the start the reason why he didn't travel with the Kidderminster squad, but it looks like there has been an Achilles issue. They don't know. It looks like that's going to be 50-50, and that might go down to the wire whether or not he starts. Now, if there is a potential Achilles niggle, and he feels okay, they may not risk him and start him in this game against Watford, because we're going to need bodies moving forward. So there's no point in putting a risk on a player who has had injury-prone problems in the past. Not so much now, but there's definitely no need to do that. And Arthur Masuaku looks like he's probably going to miss this game, to probably most of the West Ham fans' delight, which isn't great. You know, I don't like the downfall of a West Ham player. But yeah, there you go. He moves on then and talks about Zouma. Now, listen, he didn't talk about Zouma in today's press conference. Now, we are led to believe in the press conference there are some things that are embargoed, so they can't announce there and then. And we don't know if that has happened on this press conference. But what we do know is Moyes has spoken out on the back of the Kidderminster game, and he said, I think he's okay. I was a bit worried. Obviously, the plan was not to play him as long as we had made changes to try and get ourselves in the cup and stay in the cup. So unfortunately, I was not able to bring him off earlier. Now, when you look back at the game, you see that Zouma goes down. He's holding on to his knee and he looks like he's in drastic pain. He's on the sidelines and he comes back on the park, and he looks a bit sluggish when he came back on the park. However, I said to Russ at the time, I think he actually will be okay. I think it will just be a knock. And I don't think it's anything too serious, because I think if it was to the level of being too serious, they may have looked at bringing him off, even if it meant we'd had to go down to 10 men. So I think from from looking at the system, based upon what Moyes said last time out after the Kidderminster post press conference, I think Zouma will be fine. Now, there's reports coming out, and I mean, honestly, all you need to do is go onto your computer or onto your phone and you just type in Zouma, and what you actually get is contrasting reports left, right, and centre. Some people are saying that he should be okay and he's not going to go for a scan, and some people are saying he's going for a scan. Now, what we need to do is try and listen to what Moyes is saying and think, I think he's okay. I was a bit worried. Obviously, the plan was not to play him as long as that time changes. But the thing is, I think he is going to be okay, because, again, you just try and look at the system, look at the way he was playing, and yeah, he was a bit sluggish, but we don't know. And it would be a big miss not to have him, because obviously Diop didn't perform fantastic. And Dawson is stepping up to the plate once again. You know, that's 2 years in a row now that he's getting us. You know, he finds himself back in the first team again, and making himself like one of the first names that goes on the team sheet for the defensive area. So I don't think he will be missing, but we'll see. I'm going to jump into the chat, see who's kicking about, and then I'll go on to the rest of the press conference. Said, let's go. We are massive from Father Snowman. Hope you are well. The Hazri saying 2-0 tomorrow. Make sure you join us for the preview later on tonight. Adam Cook is saying afternoon, everyone. Hope you're well. The Hazri, afternoon all. Kimball, afternoon, everyone. Hope you're well. Kent, good to see you, mate. Boring game tomorrow, 1-0 West Ham. But do you know what, mate? I would take that. I would take that now. Absolutely. We are home, Anton, not away. You're right, mate. Have I done that? Oh, what a silly manoeuvre. What a silly manoeuvre. Have I put them as first? No. Oh, yeah, in the intro, I got it. Hey, Eagle Eye, Father Snowman. Paula Evans, afternoon, come on, you irons. Devil, if we play like the other day, we'll get turned over. But listen, Russ made the valid point by saying if there was a game, it's not great against, lower league opposition, but the fact that you got the result over the line, you'd rather West Ham be sluggish in that game than in the Premier League, because it's the bread and butter, as David Moyes has clearly said. It was nice that they gave free McDonald's out to the fans. Absolutely. The Hazri, I want Liverpool to stay until the final so we can get revenge. Hi, Anton. I congratulated Ian Blackford on Scottish win. What? Who? Sure, who? You need luck to win things. I'll take it. We are in the next round. Good day out. Enjoyed it. I seen your post, Kent. It looked good. I got offered tickets at the last minute, but it was too big a drive for me, to be honest, with the kids. So Adam Cook, old West Ham would have lost that game, but we move on and hopefully up the table. And you know what? Again, another valid point. And there's a positive spin to put on it, and there's a negative spin to put on it. Depends on what kind of West Ham fan you are. Gaza, hi Anton. Hope you're well. Epic, we're not making it through the season without injuries. Yeah, but we have to wait and see. Hi, Epic, how are you? I hear someone's out. This is the thing, Father Snowman. You just type his stuff in the internet. Honestly, I'll do it for you right now, right? And I'm going to give you a brief example of what I'm talking about. And you type in Zouma, and then you go to the news stories, and then you see West Ham Insider claims David Moyes may have spoken too soon on Kurt Zouma's injury. Then it says here the next one, West Ham optimistic over Kurt Zouma. And then the next one is West Ham get major double boost over Kurt Zouma and Mickey Antonio. And then someone else says Kurt Zouma injures same knee, set for scans at West Ham. So in the top 4 reports you read online, they're reporting differently. Now, we are saying here, we don't know, but we're trying to read into what David Moyes is saying. On the back of the Kidderminster game, post-match press conference, he said that I think he's going to be okay. We're hearing rumours that he's potentially knocked back a scan. Rumours, please let me remind you, it's rumours. And if true, then he'll be ready to rock and roll for the Watford game. And I think he will, to be honest. I think he'll be there. Gaza, you're all talking to each other. It's really cool. Mark Collins. Hi, Anton. There should be no future now for Yarmolenko after him cheating like that. He should be ashamed. I was gutted, mate, when I seen him do it. I thought it was disrespectful. Really peed off. It was the fact it was so blatant as well. It was awful. It was an awful dive. And then I've seen, other clips of him just not celebrating with the rest of the team. I don't know. Maybe his head's totally gone. Sharky, hopefully Zouma only missed the one game. Well, hopefully he doesn't miss the game at all. Adam Cook, what's the news on Zouma? Hopefully I've explained it to you there. At least Benny is back. Yeah, and I think he needs to get a run of games, mate, because he's lacking in something just now, confidence. This is going to be one of those games where Hodgson sets up and we struggle to break them down. I hope I'm wrong, but I think that's what he's been brought in to do. Struggle, shut up shop. They concede a lot of goals and they have to shut up shop. We can be a free scoring team, West Ham, and they can get us and get us on the counter. And they've got some decent players. But join us for the preview. We'll talk about that later on. Hopefully he'll only be out for one game. I mean, hopefully not great, but hate COVID, but better than it originally was. Hope you're well. Well, hope you're safe, Sharky. I hope you're keeping well. It's a worry at the back, especially after Diop got bullied by the Harriers forwards. Exactly, mate. I'm really surprised. Really surprised that he really couldn't cope. I'm surprised at him and a few of the other players' performances, to be honest. Players that we've that we thought for a while that haven't been performing, that didn't step up to the equation. Hopefully our fans will stop singing that generic silly song about West Ham are massive. Sorry, I can't help it. I mean, I probably feed the machine, to be honest, as well. Adam is saying the only problem against Watford is we have to start fast. If we let them get a goal early, it'll be one of those games where we struggle to break them down. But Adam, the history books state that West Ham actually gained quite a lot of points from going 1-0 down. So the new West Ham is we can go 1-0 down. So I don't know, if that's so true, to be honest. It's not ideal because we start off slow all the time. In every competition we play, we start off slow, but we'll see. I would take a 1-0 win. I went to say Dawson and under 23 to partner on Sofal and Cressy. I can't see it, mate. I can't see it. I really can't. Chris Harris, hi Anton. I read an hour ago that Zouma has refused a scan, has declared himself available for tomorrow. And this is where I'm kind of saying to you, just you can go see the conflicting reports online, and we'll soon find out anyway. Yarmo's only job should be cleaning boots. Afternoon champs for James Bong. Hope you're well. We definitely need to get back to the way we were at the start of the season. Absolutely. Roy will play two banks at 4 close together and try and nick it on the break. And they've got players that are very capable of stepping up and doing that. But let me jump on to the next part of the press conference where Moyes addresses the French players. He says all of those French players have done unbelievably. It was a difficult weekend for many teams in the FA Cup, but ultimately those French players have been fantastic for me this season. Now, there is a sentiment behind that. He's judged, he's put all the French players in one basket, one big juicy basket. Now, for me and you, we're going to sit here and we're going to say, how can you put Yarmolenko in that basket? How can you do this? How can you do that? But he's going to use and use every single player under that, considering we are where we are in the league, considering where we are in the cups and in all the cup competitions, and rightly so. Like he's never going to turn around. The manager's never going to turn around and individually blame a player. Listen, when players don't perform, I don't care what anyone says, Moyes will address that situation. If they're not turning up, if their attitude's not right, he will address that situation. I don't think he plays Yarmolenko for the sake of playing Yarmolenko. Me and you, as fans, probably believe he does, but I don't think he does. I'd be shocked to think that Moyes does that just for the sake of, he's in our squad and we need to play him and he's the highest earner, etc. And I need to prove people wrong that we can survive with the squad we've got. If his head wasn't in this game and in this team, then he wouldn't be anywhere near the squad. I don't think Moyes has got a problem with that. But what we see in the park is very different. It doesn't look like he's interested, to be honest. But then his legs have gone. He is so Slow. And it's a shame because I was always trying to back him as a player. Moyes Moyes then goes on, talks about the squad. He says all those players have been involved in European games and done a great job for us in the group stages. They've all contributed. We didn't play so well in the cup game, but there were a lot of performances which didn't match the way you thought the games would go. We want them to stay fit, strong, and be ready when their opportunities come. And this is the thing about our squad. The squad depth isn't the greatest. It's thin. Yes, of course it is. However, you can't help but think, and we know this about Moyes, that he works with small squads, and he actually looks like he is he looks like he's potentially going to commit to working with 15 players. Like obviously he's got a squad out with that, but it looks like it's going to be the 15 players. And as long as he can keep those 15 players fit, then he feels like for the last run of games we've got, we are capable of doing it, of getting there and finishing the season how we potentially started the season. That's what I am praying happens, and we don't pick up any injuries. But it's a risk. It's a risk. It's an absolute risk. It's an absolute risk. But he obviously, does he want to believe it? I don't know. Yarm is on his way, overpaid for what he gives us. Absolutely. Robert Singleton, rumour has it, Zouma refused the scan to clear himself fit. We already spoke about that, Robert. Hope you're well, mate. Moyes' fault by not getting rid of him. Well, one of the rumours, absolutely. Any chance of getting Harry a centre-half, he was superb. Preston. The thing is about him, he's only on a temporary contract with Preston, with Kidderminster, and I wouldn't even be surprised if plenty of other teams are sniffing around him. He does look like he's the real deal, to be honest. He looks quality, and he's still only young as well. Let me just see what I'm getting sent here. I don't know if this is an update or not. So it looks like he has, from everything we're being told, that he has refused a scan, etc., and he feels like he'll be okay. So it looks like he'll be there. He will be there or thereabouts. Where is this here? I would rather Yarm's wages pay still, to be nice to Anton. Busy day for me, Anton. It certainly is. Mate, I'm working as well. I've been working. I've taken a break just now to be able to bring you this video. But I am working as well. So that's it. Afternoon, lads. Good to see you, Alfie. Hope you are well. So let me move on to the next part. And he goes on to talk about the man, the saviour of West Ham, Mr. West Ham. Now you can call him Declan Rice. What an unbelievable player he is. As an individual, he's really improving, a man who's gaining a lot of experience and getting better. He learns an awful lot from Mark Noble. He's involved in lots of senior players with England and should take a look at them because he's got the potential to be a future captain. He's an impressive young man. I think I've said everything I have to say about Declan from that point. He's a really important player for West Ham, someone we value greatly, and you can see what it means to the team. He's a really good individual and we're enjoying having him. I mean, what else are we going to say about this lad? Week in and week out, game in and game out, we talk about how fascinating and how bloody brilliant it is to bring someone of his quality or have someone at his quality at this club and build the squad and the team in and around this squad. Absolutely, in and around this squad. And of course, it's a concern. Of course, it's a massive concern when we don't maybe bring players in and support that growth. However, again, I hope we can bear with it, and we can and as fans we can get behind the team, and the team can get behind the fans, and we can get back to that kind of happy stage and let's start tomorrow night at London Stadium against Watford. I mean, if we can get a reasonable, convincing win against a struggling Watford side, yes, with a new manager, then that will give the fans a fantastic head start. Now, someone's just saying to me, there's a show in at 6. Is there a show in at 6? I've not seen a show in at 6. Oh, he has at 7 now. It's 7 o'clock. It's 7 o'clock. So there you go. Stell was doing a show at 7 o'clock as it stands. So West Ham Weekly comes on then. It's going to be a busy day on the West Ham Network channel. Kent is saying, no disrespect to David Moyes. He's done great, but we're not in the 1980s and you can't get away with 14 players. It's a squad game now. Times have changed. I completely agree with you, Kent. I completely agree with you. He is running a massive risk. But Kent, as a knowledgeable football man yourself, who is passionate about West Ham equally to all of us in the chat and me, do you believe what Moyes says about, I'm not bringing players in for the sake of it, even though we see players that we think see fit? Or do you believe that there is an issue there with bringing someone in? I'd be keen to hear your point of view, Kent. So yeah, let's see what you say. John, hi Anton, good to see you. Come on, Irons, let's beat Watford. Absolutely. We're just a stepping stone for Rice, let's face it. Well, let's just hold off that thought and see what we can do, because if we can somehow bloody well progress, then we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. Agree, Kent. I'm so pleased with what he's done over the 2 years, but the last 2-3 windows have shown his limitations, in my opinion. Even though we were poor against the Harriers, we rode our luck and came out of it. Good. Could it be our year? You never know, mate. He's not confirmed that as such. He's not absolutely confirmed that as such. He's just said there was a problem with his Achilles. Now, he said pretty much that Masuaku won't make it because he's gone for a scan on his knee. And we are led to believe that we think Lanzini will probably be a 50-50 chance of making it. So we'll have a look and see what that means. Lanzini injured. Well, we'll wait and see, John. We don't know yet, definitely. Calvin Phillips, agent, said he would put bids in for Phillips with 2 weeks to go in the transfer window. Plays in the same position as Rice. Audi saying, Anton, do you think it's possible to win silverware and finish top 4 with 15-man squad? It's just the funds are not there. Mate, it's a big, big ask, isn't it? Of course it is. It's a huge ask. But then I'm going to throw it right back at you, mate. If we can get 99% of what we gave in the first half of the season from the second half of the season, then we will be there or thereabouts. That's my point I'm trying to make. That's the only point I'm trying to make. If we can go injury-free, or we only pick up an injury here, there, and everywhere, and we can pull out those results, keep getting those results, then we're there or thereabouts, mate. And we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Let me move on to the next part. We spoke about Declan Rice. He speaks about Roy Hodgson. He says, I don't think I'll be managing when I'm 74. All I can say is that his love for the game is incredible. And to have any level of success or longevity, you have to have a huge love of the game. Roy has shown he's got that. If there's anybody who can help Watford stay up, Roy Hodgson would be the name I'd pick. He's a really good coach and someone who's managed at all different levels. Watfords have given themselves a really good chance of staying up. He says, I think a few weeks ago, people were already beginning to draw conclusions, but the bottom team was Norwich, who've had a couple of wins. Newcastle have had a win as well, so they're just signs that teams are getting a wee bit better. Roy Hodgson will give Watford a great chance of avoiding relegation. It's a horrible position to be in. Every game is about getting points. I've got to say I'm glad it's not me who's there. I think Roy's a really good coach and his teams are really well organised. Over the years, his teams have always been really well drilled, so we'll expect Watford to be the same. Right away, he made an impact. When you're not doing well, you have to stop conceding goals because scoring goals is never easy. Defensively, in his first game, he got them organised and they got a good, clean sheet, of course, when they played against Burnley. Now, we all are very aware of the new manager impact that these teams can receive. Now, I am kind of thankful that the Burnley game came up first, to be honest, because then you don't have that immediate impact. That there still is going to be an immediate impact. It's just now a case of what West Ham turns up. On paper, we should win this game, but that doesn't mean it's going to be so easy. Let's look at the Watford game from before. We went 1-0 down thanks to a fantastic goal from Watford, but that sparked West Ham into gear, and then we kicked into gear, and that's what we need to do from the off. It'd be lovely. How nice would it be as a West Ham fan to not start off slow and hit the ground running from the off? And with these players fit, Fornals, we don't know. Listen, the thing is, in that position when Lanzini is out, we've got Fornals, we've got Ben Rama's back, we've got Vlasic, Antonio, Bowen, we've got options there as well. So that's the positive for us. We just need to nullify that threat in defence. That's the biggest problem. And let's hope Zouma is fit from what we believe he is. I don't know who is to blame, Anton. Only the gaffer and Golden Sullivan know. We're just guessing. But to go shopping at next level is tougher. The players we're linked to with are the next level. You're right, mate, and that's the problem. We don't really know. We don't really know. P-Gads, it's all those illegitimate kids Roy has. That's why he still has to keep working. I hear hundreds of kids. Hundreds. I think it's a perfect appointment. The first right appointment Watford made in years. But the inconsistency is just rife throughout their squad. Sometimes West Ham play better with false nine than an unfit or jaded Antonio. Yeah, you're right, mate. They do, and we got used to that when obviously Lingard had came in last year, and I think we've got players that are very capable of doing that as well. So we'll see. There's been no word from our new owners on the lack of players. Just need to hope we don't pick up any more injuries. I'm assuming you were going to say there, Chris. Right, he speaks about preparation. He said, every team's got a quick turnaround in the Premier League. We played them a month ago and got a really good result. But since then, a lot has changed. They've brought in new players and a new manager. We're coming up against a different Watford team. We've only seen Roy being in charge for one game, so it's not easy to understand. But overall, they've got roughly the same group of players. He makes a huge valid point there as well, as talking about a player or a teammate or a manager making an impact immediately. It's going to be massively tough for someone to look at that, because what can you judge Roy Hodgson on? You can only judge him on his past with his previous clubs, and he's not managed for a little while, but now he's back at Watford. He's had one game and he's nullified a threat. He's nullified them conceding goals. Now, okay, we're talking about Burnley, who don't score a lot of goals themselves, but I think West Ham just need to turn up and treat this game like we treat every single game. Treat the opposition with respect, treat the new manager with respect, have the belief and the confidence in ourselves to turn up and do a job. And I think if we do that, then we some of the comments are mental. We've got a chance at getting a result there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's hope we don't pick up any injuries. I know we need Antonio striker, but it's not possible to have a plan B where we have non-Antonio striker. Leaves asking you all to hit the like button. Please do. I'm good. Thanks from Gaza. Audi, Anton, who takes Bowen's place if he plays up top and does it all as well? The thing is, Audi, you've got loads of different options here. You can play the false nine, as someone's mentioned here, or you put Bowen up top, and then you start to mix it up between Lanzini, Benrahma, Vlasic, Fornals, and you've got Rice and Souček and you name it. There's loads of different choices there. But listen, Audi, I don't want you to think that I'm not upset at the fact we've not signed a player. I am, and I really wish we had as well. If we focus on the second half of the season, let's hope we don't have any major injuries. I'm guessing we will be fine if we're able to finish sixth with a small squad. Moyes is manager of the year, 100%. And he actually talks about the second half of the season. He says, I'm glad that people are talking about West Ham challenging for the top four. Shows our improvement and we've been making some strides. I think we've got 15 league games to go and we have to play really well. We're hoping that we can make 3 points against Watford to keep going and keep hanging on to the shirt tails of the teams above us and see what we can do. The team have played really well for long periods of the season. Looking forward to challenging again in the second half of the season. Absolutely. And it's a tough one because there's no ifs or buts about it. As fans, we're sitting here and we're going, strengthen the bloody squad, but there's no guarantees that strengthening the squad would have done the job that people are thinking it would have. But again, it's tough because then you think about the Zouma situation, and if he's not going to bring a younger player off the park and he doesn't have the faith in the youngsters, then why are you not bringing in someone like Coletta Carr, who could have potentially came off the bench or started the game and not had to risked Zouma? But again, we talk week in and week out. Games, Carabao Cup early rounds, Europa League early rounds. It took for David Moyes 6 games, like in the 6th game, to make quite drastic changes like he did in the Europa League with a mixture of youth and first team players. So he doesn't tend to do what us fans think he's going to do. And probably 9 times out of 10, the best way to kind of judge what Moyes is going to do is actually, whatever we think the opposite, and then he's going to do that. That's probably the best way to look at it as well. Bowen up top, Fredericks on the right, Soufal right back. Mate, you never know. I mean, if there's ever a chance that things will change, it could be today's game, because there's a lot of chat. Even though he says Mickey's back, there's a lot of chat about how he was pissed off over the travel situation for Mickey, going away to play with Jamaica as well. Alf's in the house. We need a decent win here to get us back on track since recent performances. Anton, if my grandmother's had balls, she'd be my grandfather. Exactly. My mum says if you had a square hole, you'd be shitting bricks. So there's plenty of ifs there. Not worry about Leicester game. They have nothing to play for. Need to drop D up. His confidence is shot. I think Worrell would have been a good signing. Played well against Leicester. No nonsense centre half. We've been playing the best for some time. Just need some more players. Absolutely. Sharky, Antonio will play. I do think he will as well. I'm just trying to read outside the, trying to be a little bit different sometimes when you look at these things. Right. The last comment he made is on the NFL. Now, I don't know if anyone knows, but when he was out of a job a few years ago, he was part of this kind of leadership team, David Moyes was, who went away and watched all different sports throughout the world. And he went across to watch the final of the NFL, and they took loads of they done loads of research on the game and tried to see if there's anything they could do bringing from American sports back into British sport. So they asked him about the NFL. I wasn't even going to put this in, but they did. And he talks about it. He says, I had an unbelievable time there 3 years ago. I was involved in the leaders in the sports group. We had a brilliant time professionally and personally. I've used some of the stuff I learned from coaches there. I'm not a huge fan, but I probably tip the Rams for the final of the Super Bowl. Who do you tip? Not a massive football fan. Always told I should have been playing it, but I'm not a huge football fan. So we'll see. But anyway, that brings it into his press conference. Now, listen, we are led to believe that Zouma should be fit for the game tomorrow, and that's good news. That is good news. Don't type in Zouma on the internet. Don't do it, because it's wild. It's wild. I've just read it to you there. I'll do it again. Let's see if there's anything changed whilst I'm here. Okay, I've typed in Zouma. And insider claims David Moyes may have spoken to soon on Kurt Zouma's injury. The next story is West Ham optimistic over Kurt Zouma's knee injury. The next one is West Ham get major double boost for over Kurt Zouma. Then Kurt Zouma injuries same knee. So in 4 statements, 2 of them make one comment and 2 of them make another comment. But we are led to believe through sources close to the club that Zouma has declared himself fit and should be back for the West Ham game tomorrow. So that is potentially good news. Black Country Hammer, sorry I'm late. I've been for some driving lessons. Good man, and good luck when you do finally pass your test, mate. But Moyes and co seem unable to identify anyone. It must be incompetence, as I fail to believe there was no one better than Yarmo to bring in. Paul Chambers, Antonio's done his international thing back to front. Most players retire from at 31 not making your debut. Bowen and Antonio, those two, especially in false 9 role, works for me. That guy from Kidderminster, Preston, good fullback. If it was me, I'll look at him in the summer. Good replacement for Augie. The thing is, though, you are talking about, listen, I know Preston stepped up to the plate. I know that, but I also have to try and put my, take my heart away from my sleeve and look at the real situation and go, he plays in the 6th tier of the English football. Yes, of course, he stepped up to West Ham, but consistently, if you put Kidderminster and West Ham in a Premier League over 38 games, who walks out the winners? And I don't think there's any question there. And that's why, these players making such a step up. He did look like the real deal, though, to be fair to him. But making a big step up would be such a big thing. I mean, when was the last time? I'm trying to think of a player that West Ham took on from the lower leagues. Was it Gavin Hooligan? Was that his name? He's been on the show, actually. He's been on the channel with Russ. We brought in Hooligan, I think. And did he not come on and make his debut against Liverpool? I don't think he really went on to much after that. I don't know if there's any other players, but we'll see. We'll see. Does Moyes think that Okaflex is not ready, but just put him on the bench to make up the numbers? Moyes has consistently and is consistent in his approach with young players. He's not going to throw people in at the deep end. When we fully expect them to get thrown in into the starting lineup, he never, ever, ever does it. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see him come off the bench if we're comfortable, but we need to be in a comfortable position, to be honest, Gaza. That's why we saw changes made in the Europa League when we knew we were qualified and won the group. Then we saw the changes made and we've seen some players making their debut. So I don't know. It's maybe something like that we need to read into. Sharky, we are missing Augie badly. Yeah, because we didn't really replace him, did we? Check out the timing of Antonio's next 3 international breaks. Not good. Well, let's just hope he doesn't go to every single one, because we know he has had the opportunity to go to 3 and he's only been to 2 and he didn't go to the second one. Preston to replace Augie. Anton, what chance do you think under 23s believe they have breaking such a small squad? I think they do, but I think they have to understand Moyes has to, fully back up. Like, they have to listen to his mantra, what he wants to do with this team. And I think they fully understand that they're not going to be playing week in and week out, but he's putting them in and around squad and getting them used to it with the potential, hopefully, to break into that next year. What I find really interesting is we didn't get rid of more players in the window out on loan. A lot of the youngsters, they stayed with the club. So I just wonder if there's any, anything in that to look at. Manolis, good evening from Sunny. Just finished from the gym. What have I missed? Sunny Grace, there you go. Guys, I wouldn't be shocked in 2 years' time Flex is playing at lower league. If Zuma's not fit, would you play Diop or go with a youngster? I would go for a youngster, but people think that's a crazy, especially in the footballing world, they think it's a crazy decision. But Diop's confidence looks absolutely shot. Like, he has gone back the way he's regressed. He's not progressed, he's regressed. I thought for a while there was progressing, but he's regressed backwards, and it's really, really worrying. Absolutely. Any truth that we're so impressed with the Matt Preston of Kidderminster that we offered Diop, Fredericks, Kroll, and Yarmolenko swap deal, but Kidderminster declined? So I wouldn't be surprised. Hooligan played as a sub in a 3-3 draw at Anfield. He had a chance to win it. He did so, mate. He did. He did. Anton, read the message again, mate. What, from you? Where is it? Where is it, Black Country Hammer? What have I done? What have I done, mate? Black Country Hammer, what have I done? What have you done to me? Let me see if I can find it. I can't find it, mate. So far back up. Can't see it. Don't know what I've done. Sorry. Kent, I think we'll go in for many free transfers in the summer. There's a lot of good first ones and championship players. I gave still a list of championship players that are good. Yeah, he said you did, and he said he was potentially going to do a show on it, but I don't think he's done it yet. It's just time and stuff like that. But yeah, there are definitely, absolutely. Why not play Rice at centre back? Listen, we've got that option. That's what people fail to realise. However, my biggest concern about playing Rice in centre back is that he does so much in that midfield area that I don't think we can afford to lose him in that area. However, worst case scenario, we do have that option, and he is questionably our best centre half as well, even with bloody Zouma there. It's official. I'm going to watch my second game on April the 2nd versus Everton. It's happening. First game was a worthy one versus Man United in September 2019. I hope this year it's going to be too. Manolos, where do you live, mate? So you said you live in Greece, so you're coming over for the game on April the 2nd. Cool. Let us know the details. Send us an email, and then we'll try and hook you up and let you know where we will be, etc. So there's the email address you need to email. And we'll try and tell you where your best thing places to go. We'll try and meet up with you, have a drink with you, etc. westhamnetwork@gmail.com. Send us a message, mate, and we'll make sure you meet loads of West Ham fans and have a good time as well. So where's that comment gone? Hammer Mulder, I really believe Moyes thinks that there's enough for this season. Have a big build up in the summer. I do as well, mate. I really do. Mark Alexander, Peter Jones, lots of contracts up. There will be big changes in the summer. I can see it. Hope you enjoy the game, Manolos. Or Ben Johnson at centre back. He has played there. Manolos, are you a West Ham fan? English Yardie, to be honest, there is quality, good fullbacks in lower leagues. Let's hope Newman does his job. Just need a chance. Spence from Nottingham Forest, he's a good player. Absolutely, he is. I think they beat Arsenal, didn't they? And then the next day, Arsenal were linked to signing him as well. Or Ben Johnson at centre back, he has played there. Or even Creswell, mate. I mean, you can put Creswell in the back three of that, and then you can play the two wing backs. So you do have another option there if you need to. And the thing is, if God forbid any of our other centre halves do get injured, and you've got the likes of what is this here? And you've got the likes of Diop having to come back into the squad. I have more faith in Diop when Creswell plays in that kind of central three. Dawson, Diop, and Creswell. I don't want that. Diop's confidence is shot. Just saying we do have those options there. Rice is too good for the centre back. I know that. I get that. I completely agree with you. But it's worst case scenario, Paul. Worst case scenario. With such a small squad, we should play Rice at centre back and centre midfield at the same time. Oh, did he? I don't know. Is that what he said? Sorry, mate. Sorry. The Championship should be our market. Some of our best players are from the lower leagues. Absolutely, mate. They are. They absolutely are. There's a place for you out here in LA, mate. Are you talking to me? Or are you talking to someone else in the chat? Because if you are, I mean, I've been to LA once. I liked it, but I'd like to do it again. So you ready to take me, the missus, and 3 kids? Just let me know, Hammer Mulder. I'll hook you up. You don't need to say those things to me twice. Great work by Yarma to help create the winner. Oh, was Marmolenko the instructor? Hopefully it's not, because you want to pass, mate. Yes, it's 2015. I remember correct. Everyone asked me this question when I saw to them. I support West Ham. Good man. Good man. Send Yarmolenko in the front line in Ukraine. I do. Yeah, I knew this. Nottingham Forest don't own Spence. Middlesbrough do, and he would cost a packet. Absolutely. Victor, Moyes likes players that can play in more than one position. Absolutely. Right, listen, that brings an end to our press conference. I've done 40 minutes there for you. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me do a quick rerun. Zouma looks like he'll be there. He'll be okay to play. Antonio is back. It's just whether or not Moyes will choose him and put him in the squad and play him in the team as the number 9. Lanzini is 50-50 and probably faces a late fitness test. Masuaku is probably out of the team. There's your overview of the press conference. Thanks for joining us. If you're new around here, please make sure you go and subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscription button right there. Then go and click the bell notification. That will notify you when we do a show. 7 o'clock tonight, we have the West Ham Weekly from Stell. That will finish and we'll go straight into the preview, the match day build-up show, preview show, straight after the West Ham Weekly. You're going to be spoiled for West Ham entertainment from the West Ham Network today. So get involved. You've joined DJ Russie B earlier on today, me with the press conference, Stell with the Weekly, Matt and myself with the an away fan at 9 o'clock tonight for the preview. Thanks for joining us. Take it easy and stay safe. Come on, you Irons.
like a family tree, part of you.